Ooh, we'll do one startup. Everyone wants to hear it. Ooh. It's cold. I'm hopefully going to be ordering my wrap by the end of the month. I got these cool 3D printed panel locks off of eBay from a guy in Wisconsin. I like how they pop right now. Yeah, really just down to carbs and then fine-tuning clutching a little bit. I mean, obviously there's a bunch more I want to do, but to get it actually out and riding, we're in the home stretch and it feels pretty good because between carbs and clutching, it was really kicking my butt because every time I was having a clutching issue, it was acting like a carb issue and vice versa. So it took me a while, but we're there now. Pretty excited. So if you guys want to drop in the comments what comparisons you want to see between this one and the 800, let me know. I'll try to make it like a mini series. The 800 versus the triple. Today we are trying to weigh both sleds. I picked a great day for it. It's snowing. We're not going to be spot on, but it should put us in the ballpark. I don't have time to load them up and go fill them up both with gas. They should both be at about half a tank. So I'll verify all that and we can factor all that in. Looking for a tree right now to hang them off of and all that. But it's snowing, so we've got this one just pulled out, about to weigh it, and we've got all the snow and everything melting off of this one since it's been sitting outside. So we'll see how it goes. Well, we've got a little test run going on. Obviously it's still wet, but we got it zeroed out with the straps, and we'll see if the hangers up there will hold and do the job. Well, we are on the sketchy side of things, but it is mostly in the air. There's almost no weight on the ground, and we are sitting at 489 pounds. So I'll probably drop this one off, pull the other one in since it's mostly dry, and go from there. Okay, so with snow on it, half a tank of fuel, we're at 489. I'm guessing if it was topped off with gas and oil, we'd be at about 510. So I guess I can weigh it again once it's dry. Probably gonna bring the triple in to weigh that right now. So if we're at 490 on this one, I bet that one is 475. What do you think?
470.
470. All right. All right. Let's see what the triple weighs. We got a little bit of snow on here, half a tank of gas just like the other one. It's fully assembled. Look at that. And all these folks said I was building a heavier sled. Well, We haven't done our final weigh on the 800 yet, but I think it's a pretty safe bet that the triple's at least 30 pounds lighter. Sure, one day when I have more free time, I'll actually fill them both up with gas and oil. I mean, they're pretty much dead even right now, but obviously topped off is going to give you the best even read. But we're at 453 on the triple, and we were at 489 on the 800. So I'd say that's a pretty substantial difference. Well, we've finally got clutching actually in the ballpark. Carb tuning has been beating me. I truly underestimated how much airflow I increased when I cleaned out all the porting and notched the cylinders. So it has just been incredibly rich in the mid-range. I can't drop the needle far enough. So I got leaner needles on order, and once they get here, we can get it dialed, fine-tune everything, and this thing's ready to rip. So maybe we can get a wrap ordered soon. Y'all get some Big Power Sports merch, and we'll get some riding videos before snow's done. All right, we're gonna get all the gas drained out, and then I'm going to pull the caps off, swap out my mains, and then we will start on disassembling the rack. So that'll be the fun part. All right, I switched out the jets, and now I just unbolted this plate. We're going to flip them over and do it again, and make sure you're careful when you pull these little spaghetti string hoses off, because sometimes it bites. Yeah. Okay, so we pulled the choke bracket off here, and now I'm going to loosen these up. Make sure to not lose that spring. There's another spring on this end, and then we can slide that rod out, and then we can start splitting them. Okay, so once you pull these two screws out, then you get this whole mechanism here, because your throttle cable attaches down here, and when you rotate this, it opens, right? So that's attached by this screw that goes all the way through the rod. So we're gonna not touch the adjuster for the slide, and hopefully we're not too far out of sync by the time we're done. So pull that screw out, and then don't forget on your carb heat models, you got your coolant lines here. So once you get to this point, it just slides right off the end here. You got two little Allen screws down there you got to pull off, and then after all that, you can move your needle position. A little disappointed it's this involved to move needle position on this, whereas on that thing it would take me like a minute and a half. So fingers crossed that one clip is enough to make it right, because I don't want to do this again. Alrighty, there's the two little screws out, and there it is. So for my own reference point, we are at, okay, let's set it down so it steadies. See if we can get this to focus. All right, we got the PTO and the mag side done, and had a little scare there, but I got it out, and then I won't be that guy. This is going right there, and I keep a lot of metric hardware on hand for situations like this. So, crisis averted. We'll get this last one done and start putting them back together. All right, so to release the tension on the spring, I just loosen the idle screw, well, tighten it, so pushed it in until this popped off. I'm assuming this is reverse thread. So pop that off, and then this spun. Its normal position is something like this. Anyways, pull that off and it spins free. You're able to unhook it there. And once that's unhooked, you just pull it on out. We'll set this right here. And this spring, I'm gonna try to leave all that where it's at. So now we take and pull this guy on out here. Oop, spacer. Okay, that goes on that side of it. Interesting how it only had one throughout the entire setup. All right, so now, if I can find where I put my Allen, here it is. Okay, let me see if I can prop my phone up somewhere. Yeah, I can. Just a second. So we will sneak this down in here. Just crack that loose. No one's wanting to bind. So we'll start on this one too. Drop it. That's good. Oh, I see why this one's. So this one doesn't have the adjuster on it because the other two you adjust to match it. So it's set up just a little bit differently. But in the end, it's still just these two screws. Okay, so we try to keep them in there. Hopefully that's focused. And then pull this out. Well, you gotta be careful. I don't know if I can show this, but there's two little plastic washer spacers that your needle sits on. So make sure you don't lose those and keep those in place, because that's going to affect your adjustment as well. If you lose them, you're just gonna lean it out more, and we are trying to go more fuel. So now it's on number 2 and we are putting it on number 3. So there we go. All that mess and all that time to move this guy from up here to back here on 3 carburetors, just so that we get more fuel in the mid-range. Pretty nifty, huh? So then, being mindful of those, let's see, you guys probably saw nothing that entire time. No light in there, but there's those 2 plastic washers down there. So we'll stick that in there. I'm sorry, this probably isn't very good to see, but we are putting our screws back in, nice and easy, and snug.
Verify it's snug, flip that out of the way, and then we will get this last one and we can start reassembly. There we go. And then if we recall, we had this plastic spacer in here, so we go to put her back in. And then it's good to watch down at the other end to make sure that it doesn't bind up when it's going in. And then we got to keep an eye on our plastic spacer here. So when it comes time to reassemble, I'm going to try to actually do this where you guys can watch it. So what I'm going to do is take that, slip my washer in close. Okay, now that my washer's on, we're gonna get it off that ridge there, and then very carefully pull this back to where it's just barely there. Oh no. And there we have it. There it is. All right, so with that back in, just finesse it into place, and we will come back, make sure that catches the spring. So we need to get one more full twist out of it, I believe. And then that's our tension. I suppose you could make it a little softer, but I don't know. Wow, I would just film that so bad. But put that in place. I suppose I could put the throttle safety switch back in first to maintain my position. I'm doing it this way because I can. So put this down in there. Snug, not over tightened like the last guy did it. The last guy was probably Yamaha. Right, and then we come back in like this. Ooh. Okay, with a little bit of tension on that, we can right. I wish I had a tripod so I could film some of this stuff better, my gimbal has been failing me. So I got all 3 of those started, and then I tipped them over. I put this brace on, and now we're going to put this brace on, which it did not go that way. As soon as I remember which way it went. Oh yeah, you can see the screw marks there. It was either that way or that way. That way looks better, but I'm gonna go back in my videos real quick and check that. And then we'll put the choke back together. So, all right, there it is. I gotta throw some zip ties back in a few spots and throw my caps back on, but that is the most labor-intensive needle position swap I've ever done. And I still get to squeeze them back on there. So, actually, you guys check it out. It's pretty sweet.